Now let's talk about child to parent query. And in these queries, our main object is the child object. So if we talk about our same example where school is our parent object and student is our child object, then our main query will focus on the student object and we'll write it like select fields from student. Now very similar to the parent to child queries, in child to parent query as well, you need to find that connection between your child object and your parent object. And here you are reaching out from your child object to your parent object. And generally this connection name or the relationship name is the field name that you create on your child object. You will see it when I'll explain it in a Salesforce org. The difference between a parent to child query and a child to parent query is when you write a parent to child query, then you get multiple child records. But when you write child to parent query, then there can be one single parent for one single child record. So you won't get multiple parent records in this case. So let's see how we can get the school properties or school fields values when you write a query on the student object. So this looks a lot simpler. There is no subquery involved here, and the reason being there can be only one single parent for a child record. So all the white that you see in this query is referring to the child object. So you are fetching name and roll number from the student object, and all the blue that you see in this query is referring to the parent object. So to reach to the parent objects field, you need to get the relationship name, which is school here. And after the relationship name, you need to use a dot operator and then the fields API name. So you are getting school.name and school.registration number from the parent school object record. So this is much simpler when we compare it with the parent to child relationship query. And let's go back to our Salesforce org. And first let's see how we can get this relationship name, and then we will see some example query in our developer console. So let's come to our object manager, and here let's go to our contact object again, because this time we'll be retrieving the accounts from a contact object record. So here let's go to the fields and relationship, and again we need to find that relationship with the account object. So we need to focus on either the lookup fields or the master tail fields. So this is our field with the account lookup, and here previously we were focusing on the child relationship name, but this time we need to focus on the field name. So if you want to refer the account fields, then you simply need to use the account as the relationship name. So let's go to our developer console and let's erase everything. So first we are going to write a simple query on the contact object. So I'm going to start with my select statement, and to write the query on the contact object, let's get the contact object's API name, which is contact itself, and we can get name and phone from the contact, or maybe department as well. And let's execute. So we have got 20 contact records in our Salesforce org. Now we want to fetch the parent account record details as well for each and every contact record. So for that we need to add a comma and then the relationship name. So if you remember, our relationship name is account here. So let's copy it, account dot, maybe like let's get the name from the account, and then the account dot website, and let's execute this query. And we have got the account name and account website corresponding to each and every child record. And unlike parent to child relationship query, the child to parent relationship query supports up to 5 level of parent records. So if your account object also has a parent object, then you can reach out to that object as well. And let's try to see an example of this. So let's go to our account object we must be having some sort of relationship on the account object as well. Maybe let's sort it by the data type, and we have a few lookup fields here. So account has a parent object as user, so we can use this object, click on the account owner here so that we can get the relationship name. So when you are trying to reach out to this parent user record, you need to use the owner as the relationship name. So let's go to our developer console, and what we will do, we'll reach out to our grandparent, which is a user object. So first we'll reach out to account object, then the parent of account, which is owner, as we need to use this relationship name, and then from this owner record or this user record, we need to get the name. We can simply use our dot operator and the field name. Let's execute it. So this time we are even getting our grandparent objects detail as well. So this was about the standard object. Now let's see how we can get the author information from our book custom object. So first I'll remove this query and I'll close all the tabs, and I'm going to open my book object under the object manager so that I can get the API name, which is book_c. So let's build our query, select from book_c, which is the API name of our book object. And here let's get the name and maybe some more fields like price, and let's execute this query. So we have got two book records and both of them are having a price as $19. But now how can we get the author information from these book records? So we need to remember that author is the parent object of this book object. So what we can do, we can go to our book object again, and we can go to the fields and relationship, and here we need to find our lookup relationship with author. So click on this author field, and here we'll get our field name. So we need to use this field name as the relationship name in our queries. So let's go back to our developer console, and here let's paste our field name dot, we need to get the author name, so I'm going to use dot name here. But do you think it will work? Let's execute it. No, it's not working, and you already know the reason, because this is a relationship name, and since it's a custom object, we need to add our suffix, which is _r, and now we should get our author information as well. So this is how you can reach out to your parent object from your child objects in a SOQL query. Now let's have a look at the limitations of child to parent relationship queries. So unlike parent to child relationship query, the child to parent queries supports up to 5 level of parent objects. So you can get the information of your grandparent object in the same query. And child to parent queries supports up to 55 related objects in one single query. So if your child object has multiple type of parent objects, so let's say you have a relationship with the account object, then author object, maybe with contact objects, so you can have up to 55 different objects in one single query. And from my personal experience, you will never hit these limits. So you will always have like 5 to 6 different related objects that you want to get in one single query. So this is all in this video. In the next video, be ready for another SOQL challenge.